Hi friends, I'm Alex with Straights on the Fly, here today with Ahrex Hook Company and Pro Sportfisher. Going to go through some of their products and the different uses of them, the different applications. So we're going to start today with what's called a Tsunami Munker, inspired by Kim Sorensen's Munker, and this is a great fly that has application for steelhead and salmon here in the Great Lakes and Pacific Northwest. For this, we're going to use the micro tube from Pro Sportfisher, and we're going to tie it no body style. You've probably heard that term before. If you're not familiar, no body simply means we're going to slide a weight or cone on the back and immediately begin tying. So we're not tying across the whole structure of the tube. And this accomplishes a couple things. It makes it, one, a very easy tie to make, and it's easy to present and sink a fly. So what I like for this are the Pro Sportfisher, the Flexi beads here. They come in different colors and 3 to 4 sizes. So we're gonna go with a smaller one here. And all I do is put the Flexi tube, the micro tube on the back, and then the bead. And I'm just gonna add my thread. I really like a 50 denier or 12-aught gel spun. There's a few of them out there. Frodin has some. This one's the Nano silk. It's really nice. It's really strong. Some people complain about it being slippery. You can simply keep some wax with you and add some more grip to it. So at this point, I'm going to use some Glitz dub from Frodin. You can use any long, flashy dubbing, and I pretty much just use this like a hackle. My whole point with this fly or idea is to have something very light weight in that Munker family, but also very easy to sink and present to the fish as well. And this is great on our Midwest streams where we're not making big casts. And the fish are obviously sitting in a very particular hole or run on a smaller river, and we want to bring it right down to them. So then I just simply fold back. And this part doesn't have to be perfect. This is just a nice, flashy, lightweight hackle. You can trim this up however you like. And then what I'll do, I use this quite a bit on a lot of stages of tying, especially on synthetic material, is just a crazy glue with a brush, and you can add a little bit to your thread as you go. And then, to me, that's just a cheap insurance policy, and nothing slides out. At this point, we'll use some silver fox hair here in the Phatagorva color. This color, though traditionally Scandinavian in origin, works very well on our Great Lakes streams, especially in the fall. We like to call them Halloween colors. So I just kind of clean that out by pinching the ends right there, form the taper in my hand, kind of exaggerate that arrow point. I'll set that down. Underneath, I'll use some copper accent flash. It's kind of like crystal flash in a way, a little limper. And what we'll do is I'm going to do an underwing with this flash just for a little support. And once again, we can trim that to shape. And all that does is kind of add a little bit of prop to our initial wing. This is usually, you can make these as dense or as heavy as you want to. I tend to prefer to keep these a little bit on the lighter side. And then what I'll do is reverse tie like Norling's Temple Dog. And tie it in reverse. easily. I'll trim some of this back section without trimming the flash. And then what I do is take it and pull it like so, and I don't tie on the material, I just thread dam in front, and you should be able to see a very nice lift to it. Has that real nice Scandi hair wing drop form just like that. And even if it sits up a little higher on you, when we add some flash and hackle to it, it'll help to calm it down and bring it down. We'll take some Phatagorva winging flash here. And you can do as little or as much as you like. Take a little more out. Once again, I reverse this in just for security. I can grab my scissors. And all we're doing here is just trying to taper the flash. You can leave it a little longer than the wing if you like, for even more of an extended taper. Or you can trim it right to the wing. Now what I'll do is add some rubber legs. And you can skip this part if you like, if you don't want them. I like these in there for a little bit more noise and vibration. And these grip in very strongly when you tie them in with thread. No need to double them back at all. At this point, you can trim these exactly how you like. I'll leave the bottoms a touch longer and the top ones a little bit shorter, just to keep it from going back into the hook. So essentially it's a one hackle fly, although the flash in the beginning is effectively a hackle. And this I'll use the Ringneck Pheasant Rump, and this is also dyed the Phatagorva, or Fiery Brown Special. And as I said, for us in the fall, especially on the Great Lakes, when the leaves are turning and you see the yellows and reds and oranges and golds just in the trees, these what we call Halloween colors just seem to really work. We usually get rains in the fall and the waters turn a little bit more brown. And this Phatagorva coloration really just kind of glows in the water, and we have a lot of success on our Steelhead with these kind of coppers and browns. Okay. Now at this point it's a little tricky. It takes a little practice. It's not too hard though once you get it down. So what I'll do is slide the tube off. You might want to give yourself more space if you're not used to this. What I'm doing is just gonna melt a light flange in it, and I'm gonna spin that deer hair in between there. That way I get a very clean finish on this fly, and the deer hair sucks right into it. So take some of my Deerbelly as well. And you really want to clean out the base of deer hair in order for it to spin well for you. And this is a little bit shorter deer hair, so you don't really need to stack that. What I do is lightly tie it in on the top. And then rotate the vise and lightly tie it in on the bottom, and then begin to spin it. And that usually gives me a much better coverage of the fly, especially when spinning on a tube. So if you haven't had success spinning deer hair on a tube, you might want to try that technique out. And then what we do is I like to push that back. It's just a pen with the guts taken out. And then we can get our thread right behind that flange. And this is kind of important. You want to really make sure that this part here is secure and doesn't come undone. So I put a little glue on the thread, and then I whip finish just by hand into this flange right here. And it's okay if you catch a couple strands of deer hair on the way. We're going to trim it anyway, and that makes it very secure. Cut that off. Now I'll grab a pair of curved razor scissors. Very important to get that munker head, and the whole idea with this munker head is we're going to shape it more as a turbo cone type shape. So don't just cut it straight away or straight off. Come up at an angle, and I lightly trim till I get that flared out shape that I'm after. And these have a tendency to push water and even capture some air bubbles in the head. It's a very, very effective pattern for such a wide variety of species. I believe originally Kim did it for Danish salmon, but it is expanded to a lot of different fish, from king salmon to steelhead out here. We just vary the size and color. And this is a little bit of a tedious process, but if you want to get the head in the nice shape, and I could pretty much stop there. The problem, if you go too long, you'll end up cutting everything off of it. So at some point, you can touch up later, hit a couple spots, but it's a good idea just to take a break sometimes from it. And this is what I call the Tsunami Munker. It's a very light fly, no body style. There's no zonker on the back, just this nice tapered wing and the head, and it's exceptionally easy to cast and even easier to sink down deeper in the water column fairly quickly. So there it is.